Hey everybody, Renegade68 here with more Let's Play 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors Blind. Nailed it! Got it right. I'm sure I'm gonna get those confused in the future, but I got it right this time, which surprises me. I haven't recorded in a while. Not for lack of trying, just things keep getting in my way, but I'm recording now, so that's what matters. Anyways, Junpei headed toward the doors, weaving his way when he started with door 3 on the left, moved to the right until he reached door 8. It's no use! Oh, I had to. Well, of course. If it was that easy to open these doors, what would be the point of the nonary game? We have to activate the red, or the numbered doors won't? Wait a minute. What's wrong? Look, the display on the red. There's nothing on it. What? Huh? Huh? Sorry if my voice is all discombobulated. Like I was saying at the beginning of the part, I haven't recorded in a few weeks. Which, I mean, it's weird. It's been a few weeks. It has been, but it doesn't feel like it. Mostly because I've been editing the previous sessions, and it's been taking me forever to do so. I don't know why. Part of it is laziness and lack of motivation, but let's just play now, because I'm doing that now. Don't you remember the red at the central staircase? If no one was inside, it said vacant. Oh, you're right. There's nothing on it. That's weird. Maybe we have to activate it to use it? Oh yeah, you're right. But this one, there's nothing on it. Right? Wonder if it's broken. Only one way to find out. Nope. And nope. And nope. Doesn't work. And I guess fourth one for good measure. Didn't respond. I think you should have figured that out after the first couple times. All four took turns placing their hand over the red, but it refused to respond. They pulled at the lever, and still it did nothing. As they soon discovered, it was only the red for door... Wait. As soon discovered, it wasn't only the red for door 8 that was behaving strangely. So 8, 7, and 3 are all this way? Huh. Guess we have to activate them. Oh god, it's like a fetch quest. The red on door 7 also refused to respond. And door 3 was similarly silent. None of them would respond. What did it mean? Haha, I knew it! They're broken. I don't know if broken's the correct term. I think they're just turned off. Zero sure sucks at maintenance. No. That's impossible. You really think Zero, who repaired all of this, would make such a stupid, simple mistake? Maybe. That doesn't explain why this thing ain't working. It was at that moment that they heard a voice from behind them. I believe the bottom of the device has been removed. Way to get rid of the suspense. It should have been question marks for his name. Then again, I guess I wouldn't have known who to read for, but still. They spun around to see... Snake! You! Sup, buddy? Wow, are we gonna meet up with the rest of the guys too? And the girl? Now I kinda wanna go back and see the other path. I don't know. I'll wait on it. Not in this recording session. It was more than just Snake. Ace, Clover, and Seven quickly filed into the room as well. Although they were glad to see one another, it wasn't terribly surprising that they had. If it had been the other party who'd opened the gate in front of the kitchen, it wasn't unreasonable that they'd bump into one another eventually. Which, I mean, who else could it have been, right? The rest of Snake's team, however, did look rather surprised. How? How'd you guys? How'd you end up here? Ellipses. Time for explanations. Information swap, go! After a moment of silence and surprise, everyone suddenly began to talk. This desperate to exchange information. They talked about the rooms they'd been through, and how they'd ended up in the same place. Of course, none of it was very useful information, but that hardly mattered. Actually, kind of matters considering we're on a time limit. They were happy to simply see one another again. And we're gonna have to split up again, though, honestly. We got more doors. This time we'll probably have to make 3 groups. Well, is that possible with us? Oh, not entirely, no. Because, like, 3, 6... We don't have a 9th person, so it wouldn't really work out. Although the level of cheer varied greatly from person to person, each one of them was wearing some manner of smile. Almost as though they had already forgotten about the death of the 9th man. No, thought Junpei, perhaps that wasn't it. Perhaps thoughts of his death were what drove them to smile at one another. What? Not in a morbid or hateful way, no. The 9th man had died. I mean, he was kind of a douche. But they were still alive, and that was something to be happy about. No one else had died. I mean, that is a good thing, but it is kind of... That in itself is a bad thing. The fact that you're happy to be alive. I mean, not that it's a bad thing to be happy to be alive, but when you actually think about it on a constant basis, that's a scary thing. Like, being happy... Like, a lot of people take being alive for granted. And, like, they feel like it's just something that is. It's only when you're put in a very terrible, desperate situation that, you know, you actually become happy that you're alive. That you still have... You're still clinging to this. So, I mean, well, it's good to be alive. At the same time, when you get that feeling constantly, you know you're in a bad situation. Or there's something wrong with your head. A sort of simple, uncomplicated joy, Junpei thought. The joy of being alive. Still alive. Oh, hey, Portal reference. Hi. He felt sorry for the 9th man, but more than anything, Junpei was just happy to be alive. Still alive. There you have it, our half of the story. His part finished, Ace fell silent. And of course, we don't get to hear it. Go back, play the other side. I could, I have save states. For a moment, Junpei was silent, in thought. Then he spoke. Then again, I don't think you're really intended to, because there aren't multiple save files. There's just one. I don't think I'm going to use the save states just to find out. I'll probably use the save states to find out after the fact, but I think I want to go through, like, just once. Just one story, go through, and go back to see things afterwards. Because if there are multiple save files, then I might go back, like, mid-LP, but because there's only one save file, I don't think you're intended to. Anyways. Okay, let me see if I've got all this straight. When you guys got here, the bases for the Reds were already gone. And you looked all over this room, but you couldn't find anything? So you figured that there might be something in the hallway with all the doors? So you went and had a look? Wow, we're good at finishing each other's sentences. Yeah! And while you were looking around, you heard voices. Uh-huh. So you followed the voices and came back here. Indeed. Didn't you guys already just go over this? Did I miss that? I mean, I know I missed it because, you know, there was a blackout and then it came back and, like, time had passed. But wouldn't you have gone over this during that blackout? I don't know. And that was how we found you. Junpei examined the 3 Reds again, just in case. Nope, still nothing in them. On the bottom of each was a long, thin gap. It looked like a slot for something. Probably something electronic. Probably need to put it in there for it to work. So we do have a fetch quest. Ah. Well, this isn't good. If the red is inactive, we can't keep going. Well, what about that hallway over there? Isn't there anywhere else we can go? No, there isn't. There are plenty more hospital rooms, but nothing else. You sure? This is a pretty big hospital room. Did you check all over the places? Hospital rooms? That's what's behind all these doors? Must be a sick bay. Yes. There are a number of individual rooms in addition to this large one. There was a door at the end of the hallway, but it was locked. What symbol was on it? That might be useful. You may have cards that we don't have. We may have cards that you don't have. There was an astrological symbol engraved near the keyhole, however. I was able to get a good feel of it. Because you can't exactly get a good look at it. believe it was the symbol of Jupiter. Good thing these are engraved and not just, you know, pictures. Otherwise, the stake would kind of be in a bad position. But whoever masterminded this probably wants everyone to have a fair shot, so we probably made them engraved on purpose. Okay, symbol of Jupiter. Do we have that? It's been a while. I don't remember. We have one of them. I don't think it's the symbol of... I think we have the man symbol, don't we? The Mars symbol? Not again. Those goddamn things are everywhere. I wonder what they all mean. For a moment, everyone was silent, deep in thought. While we're asking what things mean, what's the deal with this room? I mean, I thought this was a cruise ship, but I can't imagine a cruise ship would have a hospital like this. All you have to ask yourself is, did the Titanic have one? And if it did, then this will have one. Of all people, it was 7 who answered, and with calm confidence. Well, I figure it's probably a hospital ship. Hospital ship? Oh. Chances are, it's the... Wait. Gigantic? Not the Titanic. The Gigantic. The Gigantic? Or, oh, the Gigantic. Wait, that's a name of a boat? Gigantic, Gigantic, whatever. Junpei looked confused. So did everyone else. What is this Gigantic? I don't want to keep calling a boat a Gigantic, so I'm going to call it Gigantic, just to confuse everyone. Except myself, because it's easier for me. 7 knit his brow for a moment, then began to explain. The Gigantic. He explained that she had been a sister ship to the Titanic, built in the early 20th century. The Titanic had 2 sister ships, who were identical to one another in nearly every aspect. The Gigantic was said to be one of them. Huh. That's interesting. I never knew about that. Is this just like... Is this a real life fact, or is this like an in-game made-up thing? I don't know. Either way, intriguing. I'd like to know about this third one that we don't know about. Is this the real one then? Is this a real boat? I'm still unsure. Like, part of me thinks it's a real boat, but if... I mean, part of me thinks it's not a real boat, but then, like, if it's not actually a replica of the Titanic, then it might actually be a real boat. Because what would be the point of getting the Gigantic if you weren't gonna... I don't know. Anyways, I'd like to also know about the third one, now that I know that there's a third one that's probably gonna play a crucial role. Unless you tell us about it right now, in which case, eh. She was initially intended to be a passenger liner, like the Titanic, but soon after the ship was launched, the First World War began, and she was pressed into duty by the British Navy as a hospital ship. Sometime later, the Gigantic was damaged by a German mine in the Aegean Sea. She managed to run aground after the incident, and consequently was not sunk, so this could be the real one. What then happened to the Gigantic after her fateful encounter in the Aegean Sea? The theory ran that a man named Lord Gordon purchased her. Lord Gordon? Gordon! Oh, supernatural. Lord Gordon, it seemed, had been one of the few survivors of the Titanic tragedy, and that trauma had turned him into an obsessive collector of all things related to the Titanic. Red herring! Red herring! Red herring! Red herring! I can tell right now, this is probably like... Lord Gordon, I don't know what he is, but the game is probably trying to make you think, ooh, he's related, maybe this is the mastermind. But I'm like, no, that's too simple. I feel like... That's too simple. But no, I feel like it's gonna be something more subtle than this. I feel like this is a red herring. Anyways, I think everything's a red herring. I think it has to be something so hard to figure out that you can never possibly do it until the last minute. As his obsession deepened, he began to desire the Titanic itself. That, of course, was impossible. The Titanic lay at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. The Gigantic, however, had not suffered such a dire fate, and as she was identical to her sister ship, she caught Lord Gordon's eye. Sorry, every time I see Lord and then it starts with a G, I think Lord Genome. I watched Gurren Lagann recently. What about the third ship? What happened to that? So you're saying this Lord Gordon bought this ship? Yeah. Wait, you know about this whole time? This possible clue to the Matter's identity and you haven't talked about it? Maybe you just weren't thinking about it, but still, this is at least a little suspicious. At least I think I am. That's impossible. No way we're in some boat that's almost 100 years old. Pipe down, just pay attention. Let the adults speak. What, that's it? Well, have you got any proof? Proof? Proof the ship is really the Gigantic. Well, this ship's got stuff that's like the Titanic and a hospital ship. So I just figured... Oh, for goodness, don't tell me that's your only reason. No, I've got more. Really now? What more? Like? Well, I mean... Ooh boy. Seven looked around desperately, doing anything to avoid meeting Lois's piercing stare. Ooh! That's... ugh. Sometimes, I don't know. Lotus is iffy. I kind of like her character, but at the same time, she's just kind of bitchy, so... He scratched his head for a moment, then gave up. You can't beat the woman. Just give in. Give in to the Lotus symbol. Oh, the thorn. It's kind of true. Finally, he opened his mouth. I don't know. Lotus sighed and shook her head. You said you had more, but now you're avoiding the truth? Like you know something confidential, like you're a cop? I haven't forgotten about that. I still have no real proof, but I don't know. Things are pointing at it. Yes, a cop with the plumber outfit. Of course! Mario! The whole time! Or maybe... No, you have yellow, so you're Wario! I guess your memory isn't back yet, is it? Wait, what? Oh! Oh, he said he was hazy on the details, so... He has amnesia? Does everyone in these games have to have... Someone in a Chunsoft game always has to have amnesia? Yeah, sorry about that. Hey, wait a minute! So you figured this... Whoa, okay. So there's someone other than Snake who's pretty clever on board. Okay. Lotus actually realized that his memory is kind of funky. Huh. Interesting. I didn't even think about that. I just thought he was hiding stuff because that would point to him being a cop. I don't know. Then maybe that throws everything I've been saying out of proportion. Although subtly he could still be doing cop mannerisms, so it's possible. Anyways. Memory isn't back? Junpei was, he felt, legitimately shocked by what seemed to be new and very important information. Everyone else, however, seemed unimpressed. What? In fact, they all looked at Junpei as though he had said something very strange. What? He decided to revise his attitude for the next question. Wait, was I the only one that didn't know? Everyone nodded. What? Oh yeah, I guess I didn't tell you, huh? I told the rest of them before we ran into you on the stairs. Oh, okay. That explains things. It's funny that didn't come up in the conversation afterwards, though. I told him I couldn't remember a damn thing from before I woke up. What? Then, almost as if to save Junpei from further embarrassment, for whom the bell tolls. A bell began to ring from far away. It sounded as though it was the clock at the main stairway. Junpei counted each chime carefully. 10, 11, 12. It's midnight. Then we still got 6 hours left, right? We're already a third of the way through this. I doubt we're a third of the way through the game. But, we don't have any time to screw around. Let's get going. We gotta find the missing parts of the Reds. For the Reds. What do you mean, find? How on earth do you propose we do that? Oh, never mind. Lotus isn't as clever as I thought she was. Everyone knew. Sorry. Sorry, Lotus. You're not that smart. We've looked everywhere in this room. That only leaves one place to look. Guess you were looking while you were talking. Unless you looked here before we showed up. I don't know. One? Well, I guess that's not really right. Huh? Well, wait! Don't tell me you mean we need to search all the other rooms. Don't freak out. We already searched 4 of them. 4 rooms. We just have to split up the rest between the 8 of us. If each person does 6 rooms, that'll be 48 rooms, right? If each person does 6 rooms, that'll be 48 rooms. Wait, what? 6 times 8 is a number. 64 is 8 times 8. Subtract 16, you get 64, 58. Yeah, that is the correct number. Yes. So there are 48 rooms left? I really should know that by heart. I'm off my game. Her early experiences had apparently not encouraged Lotus to trust Santa. 7 scratched his head awkwardly. I don't know. After a little more discussion, they split up and headed toward the rooms to begin searching them. Junpei was chosen to search the rooms on the starboard side, moving from fore to aft. They also determined when they would return to report their findings the next time the clock sounded the time. Really? We're gonna take a whole hour doing this bullshit? Maybe this game isn't as long as I thought it might be. The next time the clock sounded when it did, they would meet back in the large central room full of beds. If, during their search, any one of them were to locate the missing components, they would yell for the others. Hopefully we don't have soundproof stuff, but you've probably checked. Knowing Snake, he wouldn't leave that go unchecked. Then again, if he's the mastermind or something, then he wouldn't bother telling others, but I don't know. If this strategy failed, they'd return to discuss their options later. The details decided, they left to begin searching. Out into the hallway they went, each to the rooms they'd been assigned. However... Yes? From far away, Junpei heard the bell ring. What? He did so only once. It was 1 a.m. Wait, what? Already? He jogged through the entrance of the large hospital room to find 6 of the others already there. Oh my god, one of them's dead! Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm in the Danganronpa mindset. No, jogged through... Okay, so an hour passed and he was searching rooms? Okay, that wasn't made very clear, but okay. Ace, Santa, Clover, June, 7, and Lotus. Who does that leave? That leaves... Snake. Oh god, and Snake is missing? This is too suspicious. They had gathered in front of the door number 8. Or perhaps, to be accurate, they had gathered in front of the red next to the door number 8. Had one of them found the missing piece? What happened, guys? It was June who answered him. Jumpy, look! She was pointing at the red. He pushed through the others until he stood in front of it. What? Immediately he knew what she had meant. The display on the front of the red read vacant? Junpei sighed. Come on guys, who was it? I thought we're supposed to yell if we found it. Well? Junpei wondered why she was hesitating. The others looked as confused as June, but kept their mouths shut. What the hell? What is up with you guys? They all knew something he didn't, and Junpei wasn't about to leave things that way. I think I know what they know. They just showed up and it was there. Which means this proves one of us is in on it. If no one's speaking up, then that's what it proves. It proves that they were waiting for everyone to get together, and then they were going to let everyone search all the rooms, which means who suggested we search all the rooms? It was 7. That makes him suspicious. Yeah. So plus he has the whole amnesia thing going. More suspicious. I don't think it's him. Maybe. It's possible, but that seems too obvious. I think everything's too obvious. Let's be serious here. But, Yeah, so this proves someone here is in on something. Because that or the mastermind is on the ship. Even if he's not one of the 8 of us, he's somewhere hiding. One of those two. And he knows what's going on with us. He's either one of us, or he has some way to monitor us while being on board the ship at the same time. So that he can, like, slip around when we're not looking. Which makes things kind of intense. Finally, Lotus frowned and spoke. Well, that's the thing. We don't know. You don't know? Of course, Snake isn't here right now, so that makes him suspicious as well. When I got back, it was already like this. There was no one else here, which makes you suspicious because you're the first one who got here. Which means you could be lying. That means I was the first one back, but the missing parts were already back in the red. But still, because of how long everyone was gone, someone else could have easily went in, put it there, and left. Just because Lotus got back first doesn't mean she is the most suspicious. Everyone's equally suspicious right now. Junpei looked at the bottom of the red again, just to make sure. Ooh boy, things got intense. The slot that had been opened on the bottom was now covered with metal. Clearly, whatever had been missing had been returned. What about the other two? They're the same. Junpei quickly examined the other 2 boxes. Ooh boy. Shit is getting shitty. I mean real. Whatever. Shit is getting shittier. Satisfied they were also repaired, but still very confused, he returned to the others. You're not going to be satisfied for very long once you realize what this means. Alright, I just want to be sure here. Unless Snake shows up and he's like, oh yeah, I did it. I was just, but the reason I didn't tell you guys was because, no, there's no valid excuse. Knowing Snake, though, he'd probably come up with something with how smart he is. Nobody has any idea what the hell happened here, right? Ace and June nodded silently. Seven raised his hands as if to say, not me, and Santa just shrugged. Only Clover lowered her face and did nothing. Huh? Wait a minute. That was when he noticed. Where's Snake? Junpei swept his eyes across the room a second time, but Snape was nowhere to be seen. I said Snape. Snake? Does that mean that he found them? I have no idea. There's nothing to suggest it, but nothing to suggest he didn't either. I don't suppose we'll know until we can ask him in person. Well, whatever he did or didn't do, he's pretty damn late. What the hell is he up to? Maybe he's lost. He's blind, but at the same time, if he was the one to put these here, then he knows his way around the ship without a partner. So, yeah, well, that seems likely. Dude can't see. I don't know how he gets around in the first place. You'd be surprised how much you can learn to live without something when you don't have it. Not that I have experience with that. I'm certainly not blind. But, I've talked about this before. Once you don't have something and you're forced to live without it, after a while, living without it becomes second nature. So, even though he can't see per se, as long as he can feel things, he can probably make his way around places fairly confidently. Clover raised her head. No, that's impossible!